Hello, this is Dr. Melida Barrow. I am the author of Unveiling the Illusion, Know Who You Are. Welcome. My organization is called Love, Truth, and Peace. I apologize for that technical difficulty. I don't know what happened, and I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to continue to do what I'm doing at this time. First of all, welcome to my show. I will be doing this show weekly, once again, on YouTube. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. Melida Barrow. Let's get started. This episode, this tragic episode that happened on Monday, May 25th, 2020, I have something to say. I have a whole lot to say, actually. But first of all, our condolences to the family of 46-year-old Mr. George Floyd. He was murdered by slow death by 4 police officers in Minneapolis, here in the United States. And I am not just speaking for myself today. I am speaking for my ancestors, those that have been brutally murdered by police officers here in the United States and in the world. This is a crime. This is going to continue to be a crime unless we do something. First of all, we are all sharing in your sorrows. I'm speaking now to the family. We are all sharing in your sorrow with love and friendship. No words can describe how sorry we are, the world, not just me, but the world, of your loss. May God help you and guide you. This is very disturbing, and I hope that I can get through this show. May God help this family, and may God help so many other families that's going to experience this same tragic death that happened yesterday. May 25th. But we have to stop this. It is time for us to stop this now, not tomorrow, now. You see, being black in America has been a death sentence from the beginning and during slavery. It has been tragic for many, many families. Many families are right now, they're scared. They might keep their children home because they don't know what might happen tomorrow. I want to ask this question though. What, if any, changes have occurred in the nation's police department after Rodney King beating? What are the procedures that they implemented after Rodney King's beating? Probably none. It was probably implemented, but not exercised. The natives of this land, because see, we have to go back. We have to understand why this is happening. This is not randomly. This is not random. It is not. And we have to make the changes. We have to make the changes. If we don't make the changes, what is going to happen? It is time for us now to make the changes today. I know Facebook has been trying to cut this speech, and I'm going to tell you, I hope that I was not disconnected, because it looks like I was disconnected. For those of you that are watching this program, let me know if I was disconnected, because it looks like I was disconnected again. This is not good. Okay, I'm back. I couldn't see anything. My screen went blank again. This is crazy. But let's get back to what I was saying. We are all being traumatized. There is a deep emotional wound that's affecting us all on a daily basis. There is so much fear in the air that is affecting our children, that is affecting all of us, adults, everyone. And the experiences of previous generations can affect what we are going through. You see, we are still going through a historical trauma since slavery, since colonialism. History is not about the past. It's about the now. You see, what happened on Monday, we have to change the history of what's happening. We cannot continue to live this way. There's so many people in the world now that's aware of what's happening here in the United States. But I just want to say, there's so many people in the world that is experiencing the same thing. And we have to change this. We have to make the changes today. If we don't make the changes today, nothing is going to happen. Nothing. You see, let's talk business. The elite, which we call the system, created and uses money, the media, politics, and religion to provide a state of fear and ignorance that keeps us under its control. We have to change that. You see, we have to change that. Even family members who have not directly experienced the trauma of slavery or colonialism can feel the effects of the event generations later. Our ancestors are weeping. You see, they did the best they could with what they had and the knowledge that they had. They were in a country that they didn't understand even where they were. We know where we are at. But there's so much of us right now that are sleeping. There's so much of us right now that don't care. There's so much of us right now that are sitting back, just clicking like and saying, I'm going to pray for that young man. I am going to pray for that young man. Let me tell you something about your prayers. I love to pray, but prayer without action is dead. It is time now for us to pray with action. You cannot pray to God to do something when He already gave you all the tools that we need in order to fight back. You see, you are at war. They are at war with you, I should say, but you don't know it. You don't understand what's going on. We don't understand what's going on. We don't understand. And we have to unite now. If we don't unite now, this is going to be a crisis in America. This, to me, was a provocation to do what we did yesterday in Minneapolis. One of the things that I want to say today is this. We cannot always react to things, because the day is going to come when you are going to react and then you're going to die. And it's worth dying for. But let me tell you something. We have to be smarter than that. We have to all come together and unite We have to all, I'm talking about the world. We have been in quarantine for 2 months. And with all that is happening, look at what happened on May 25th to Mr. George Floyd. Another young man, and God knows how many have died, how many are in prison today. And because we didn't have a camera to film what happened on May 25th, it would have gone under the rug. And I am not just speaking about America. I am speaking about Africa. I am speaking about Latin America, the Caribbean, the world. How long are we going to suffer when in fact we have the power to conquer what is happening today? Colonialism have done a good job on us. Slavery have done a good job on us. That's what they say. That's not what I am going to say. We have the education that we need in order to conquer what is happening today. What happened to many that don't know, and I'm going to make this clear. There is a police officer, Mr. Mylan Masson, who worked for the police department for 20 years and ran police training for the state of Minnesota at Hennepin Technical College until 2016. This is what he's saying. He said somebody died in the process of being arrested, which is never something we want to have, according to Masson. The cell phone video taken by a bystander shows of an officer using his knee as a means of putting pressure on Floyd's neck. We've all seen it. A neck restraint is listed as a non-deadly force option in Minneapolis Police Department Police and Procedure Manual. Really? He said, and I'll repeat, a neck restraint is listed as a non-deadly force option in the Minneapolis Police Department Policy and Procedure Manual, according to the police. The unconscious neck restraint shall only be applied. Listen, my people. This is the policy. Shall only be applied in the following circumstances: on a subject who exhibiting active aggression or for life-saving purposes, or on a subject who exhibiting active resistance in order to gain control of the subject, and if lesser attempts at control have been or would likely be ineffective. Neck restraint shall not be used against subjects who are passively resisting as defined by policy. He was handcuffed. It is a control technique, so you can make sure that if you control the head, you control the rest of the body, according to Mr. Musson. But of course, there are perimeters on that. We do a light pressure. Listen to this. We do a light pressure on there, just enough to stop the threat. And we also make sure that, of course, the person isn't going to be harmed in any way. This is their policy. In the video, Mr. George can be heard saying he cannot breathe over and over. The bystanders are saying, take your knee off his neck. He continued. Now, as soon as you hear somebody cannot breathe, you need to ask for medical attention. This is according to the Minneapolis Police Department policy. As soon as you hear somebody cannot breathe, you need to ask for medical attention. Did they ask for medical attention? Then change your positioning, change to see what's going on. Mason said, The Minneapolis Police Department also does not typically teach the knee or neck technique and instead teaches knee into the shoulder blades as a restraint tactic. The video appears to show the officer's knee on Floyd's neck for at least 7 minutes until an ambulance arrives. I would say about 9 minutes. Always when you're using force, you only want to use it until you need to stop the threat, Mason said. If he's not moving anymore, he's not resisting, then you let up totally. And if somebody's complaining that you should check for a pulse, I certainly would check for a pulse, according to Mr. Mason. Now, the 5 Eyewitness News also asked about the responsibility of the second officer in the video, who is seen standing nearby. What was he doing? Nothing. He should have intervened or suggested his partner to use a different tactic. What did he do? Nothing. I see the other officer doing nothing, just standing there. Let me just say this, and I'm going to go into closing. At this time, they will invoke Black citizens to stay peaceful in the face of this horrible violence. You see, they inject that between 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now. I'll give it 2 weeks. You will not hear any more about Mr. George Floyd. Once the media sits down, we shut down. We do the same thing. We're not going to do that this time. Ever again. Listen to me, CNN. Listen to me, Fox. Listen to me. All the news, NBC, CBS. This is it. We are not going to sit by and watch our brothers and sisters, our natives on this land, the indigenous people, all the immigrants that are being violated. We're not going to sit back and watch anymore. We all have to unite. You see, this would be very difficult to do when you're watching a man becomes lifeless. Not that the other brutal violence that they have committed, we did not embrace, or we did not do anything. But I think this is the time now. I don't know about how everybody feels, but I think something happened to all of us watching this video. The time is now. You see, this will be the very difficult thing to do, to watch somebody being, you're killing somebody so slowly and you're so calm. You see, it changes everything in me. It's time to make the elite policymakers listen to me. It's time to make the elite policymakers face your own racism. And I am not talking about the police department. People cannot solve a problem without knowing its agenda scope and the damaging impact of police brutality practices that will continue unless people dig deeper. Do you think this is about the police department? It's deeper than that. If people want to understand any issue in America, they need to focus on who profits from that problem. Who profits from that problem for what happened May 25th and all throughout our lives, for even from slavery? Who profits from the problem, not who suffers from it? That's what we need to focus on. For decades, for centuries, we react with emotions and never find the root of the cause. We never find the root of the cause. Let's change that now. We're looking at the lower fruits here. Let's go deeper. Citizens vandalize and protest and never obtain the real power to make the difference difference because they do not design it. It's designed for them. What these police officers are doing is sparking hate because they are wicked and causing this country to be divided. But it's already divided. It's divided. This is all created by design to start a civil war. And further down the line, listen to me, allow the country to implement laws for public order. You're following what I'm saying? Are you following what I'm saying? This is dangerous, what is happening. Because the way I looked at it yesterday, at this video, it was as though he was provoking us. We were being provoked to show us what he can do and what they can all do to us. The other day I watched another video, and that video, the police officer standing outside of the car and telling this woman to put her hand somewhere, and she refused. And he said to her, "We only kill black people. So if this is your agenda to go throughout the world and kill black people the way you are, especially in America, it's over. You are going to see the wrath not only of God, but of man, because it's time to stop what you're doing. You might be surprised what is going to happen to America. People are tired. People are sick and tired of what's going on. And those of you that are afraid, step aside or join us. I am calling for all of you pastors that are sitting watching and not doing anything. You need to come out. I am asking you, not begging you, I am asking you to step up. For all of you, you need to step up. We all need to step up. We all need to do what we have to do. I want to thank all of you for listening to me today. It is time to unite. You see, we've been fighting our battles alone. Each ethnicity group has been following and fighting your battles alone. It's over. Let's fight the battle together. And if we cannot do it together, you can forget about your future generation. We need to prepare for them. And the time is now. The time is now to unveil the illusion of this world. Thank you very much. This is Dr. Melida Barrow. I am the author of Unveiling the Illusion. Know who you are. This is not over. These men have to be in prison for the rest of their lives. We have to stand behind this family and behind every family out there. Put it on Facebook. I don't care if it's 50 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Put it on Facebook. You have to fight. You have to stand up. Never again is now. Thank you, and may God bless you. You can subscribe to Dr. Melida Barrow on YouTube.